Hey, welcome everybody to my chess subscriber stream. It's Thursday, the 4th of January 2018. I'm International Master Slaggy, aka the greatest FIDE master in the world, International Master William Pascal. But we are a little bit under the weather, so I'm going to warn you guys in advance to be... I've actually hotkeyed the I can turn off the sound if I start to go into a coughing spasm or something. I feel really crap, but I don't want to disappoint you guys with the stream here. So we are going to go forward and try to do this thing, although I like I said, I feel like absolutely horrible. But I love you guys, and I love chess. That's what I was thinking, Nefyadov. I mean, I'm still beautiful, but I sound and I feel horrible. I was going to say I feel a lot worse than I look. I don't sound that bad compared to the way I feel. It's kind of like a pyramid, I feel awful, I look beautiful, and I sound kind of crap. But it's just one of those kind of unpleasant colds. Getting worse in the evening, better in the daytime. Anyway, we're going to try to do this. So I'm doing game analysis and Blitz and rapid chess, because we're playing anything between 5+3 and 7+3. That was weird. I think, oh man, I made my hotkey escape for the muting the mic, but it also escapes me from lead chess. That's the problem. I have to change my lead chess hotkeys. Alright, so excuse me for the heavy breathing. I really am barely staying alive here. I'm going to start this game with Nefyadov. He is one of our subscribers, and I'm going to obviously favor the subscribers. This is a stream I try to do once a week to give back to the subscribers, and it's the least I can do. So Nefyadov has been tough on me lately. Sparkle Horse is streaming. Wow, new feature. That's awesome. It says Sparkle Horse is streaming, like right under the game. Now, like if you play a guy who's streaming, now you know. Interesting. That's a cool feature. Totally unknown. Hey, Move 11, what's up? Alright, I guess I should start the game. I'm not feeling like anything adventurous, so... I played a couple warm-up games against extremely low-rated players. One guy was like 1400. Yeah, Nefyadov and I now have a regular kind of battle in this variation. What can I come up with to kind of mess him up here? He's really systematic in the opening. He has his systems, he knows them well. He doesn't ever really vary from his known lines. See if we can confuse him somehow. I played d4 a little bit early. I'm going to leave book. I'm going to leave the main line here with queen h4. Nefyadov is good in his comfort zones, and I feel like I play into it sometimes by, helping him, by cooperating, playing the lines he knows really pretty well. If I really want to optimize my results, I have to try to put my opponents in situations they're not comfortable with. Hey, Soltigo, Armad. I just noticed you were doing a simul. Is that done? Now, Queen c7. This, in a sense, prevents Bishop h6 because he's on my c-pawn. Now, I think we go here. Queen c7 looks kind of suspicious to me. Developing the queen before the minor pieces. He's playing even faster than me. I'm a lightning speed player. But I'm too slow. I get in time pressure way too much. I've been trying to defend myself for a couple years here, but I have to make, I have to make the case against myself. Oh, that works. It's like I'm not on the main page, so I can press escape without leaving the board. If you do escape on the main Lee chess page, it will like suck you out to the contact page or, you know, info page. That's cool. I can mute the mic without getting sucked off this screen. I made escape because it was like the farthest key away, and I didn't want I didn't want to hit it by accident. All right, what are we doing here? Okay, a nice routine move. Rook d1. Yeah. Okay, I'm a fish. I'm kind of a fish, basically. It's funny, Nefedov last week asked me what a fish was. What, you know. Fish is actually like a chess term. I mean, in poker, people are called donkeys that are like really weak players. But in chess, it's usually fish. I don't know. Is that like an Americanism? Do they not say that in the UK, Nefedov? Yeah, so here I have the surprising bishop takes f6. Bishop takes f6. Knight d5. Oh no. Knight d5. Okay, he puts the queen somewhere. Oh no, now does it not work? It still works. Alright. Nefi. I also, you know, I think he makes this recapture way too fast. It's a pretty long game, 5+4. You've got to consider recapturing with the e-pawn in this spot. Maybe Nefedov's instincts are really good, but I think you got to at least give it a passing glance. The other capture. He seemed to instantly play bishop takes f6. So we're going to smash his structure. It's possible that this move was stronger last move when I was forking on c7. But anyways, he's probably not capturing on h4. And I'm not sure what his best is. Sorry in advance for coughing and, you know, breaking your eardrums. I'm sure on the mic it sounds wonderful. I'll try to hit the mute button. I have a big mute button on my desk. We'll try to keep the political humor to a minimum, though. I don't like to go there. People get offended, you know, and too irate. So we have a very big mute button on my desk right now. Knight to d5, and I want to take here, just smash the structure. But it's a minimalistic kind of advantage. Yeah, this was the move that, okay, you know, first glance is queen a5, but honestly queen d8. But this is like defending d6. Maybe that's relevant. Now it's my turn to think, you know. Let's not make an automatic move here. You know, we could play b4. Okay, there's a lot of crazy stuff going on. b4, queen takes d5. It's still worthy of consideration. You know, b4, queen takes d5. Pawn takes d5. Bishop, what am I talking about? Yeah, bishop takes h4. Yeah, unfortunately, it just looks too good. Yeah, it just looks too good. I think I have to take over here. And then we're thinking like 2-for-1 sale. If you like shopping, you like 2-for-1 deals. Queen takes and queen takes here, but he's getting 2-for-1 also with my e2 pawn. E2 pawn's too formative for my pawn structure. I want to keep that. So I think e3 or bishop f3 is where it's at. e3 looks like the safest, threatening his pawn, keeping everything pretty protected. We're coming through there. F6 is hanging, and it's hard for him to protect D6. Yeah, I mean, you got a big storm there, Soltigo. You know, my family's home is in Massachusetts, so it's quite bad there as well, I'm assuming. Very, very large storm all across the United States East Coast. Hungary, we don't get any snow. It's very weird. Like, there's never snow here. I've been here for 14 years. I think I remember one relatively significant snowstorm, but it was the worst storm I saw in 14 years in Budapest was like 5 inches of snow. It's crazy. Like, I don't understand, but something about geography here just isn't conducive to snow. Okay, E3. This pawn is hanging. We've got Queen D4 centralizing, picking this guy up. What does he play? Queen E5 maybe. Queen E5, Queen D4. Something like that. Maybe maybe Nefedov has something like B5 in some moment, actually. If he can get through. I would consider trying to play that move, which is a normal plan in a normal structure where his position isn't messed up. But going back, you know, I was like critical of this. Maybe this capture is not so bad. I'm taking this way to keep the dark squared bishop on the board. We'll take a look after the game. So he played F5. That's bad for his bishop. It's good for his pawn. How can I just build up? Queen. I mean, Queen D4 is logical. I'm really short of time. I'm a little concerned that he can hold this ending. But I don't know. How's he going to protect D6? He might have a way. Okay, if he tries B5, I'll have like take, and he won't, you know, take on B5. If the queens are off, I'll have bishop C6, so he won't be able to do a rook takes B5 capture without dropping in exchange. Bishop E6. But we're snapping this, right? Golden. Okay. We want a pawn. Take it. Nefedov has been really tough with me lately. And he's a much better. I said it before, I'll say it again. He's better than his rating. He should be 2,000. There's no question in my mind. I guess he takes it easy on other people. Okay, rook takes d6. We managed to win a pawn here. Still not that easy to convert. We're only one pawn up, but I'm not sure if b5 is a good move. We have an absolutely monster passed pawn. On this is okay. This is a trade. I guess I should get that pawn. B4. Yeah, why not? Protect my protected passed pawn. Rook B6 though. That doesn't seem right. My other rook needs to be activated. Okay. Guess I was just gonna go here. Okay, that bishop on c4 is extremely annoying, and it's gotta go. Wait a minute. Okay. I think we can win this very straightforwardly. Sorry again, guys. Nefedov doesn't take it easy on you. Aren't you guys about the same rating on Lichess? Alright, he doesn't take it on easy on me. That wasn't that easy, but let's take a look. It was... I'm really curious about the capture on f6, where Nefedov captured very quickly here. So I played here Queen h4. I don't think this is a novelty. Lichess Opening Explorer says nobody's played that. They've definitely played it after castles d6. I don't think it makes a big difference, actually. So, Queen h4, maybe we're setting a new trend here. Black should play d6 and transpose after d6 castles. I believe what I analyzed was d6 castles, bishop e6, and black is supposed to play a plan based on, I don't know how this works, but something with rook c8 and rook c5 harassing my queen on h4. I think there's a line that goes like that. Basically something to do with rook c8, rook c5 against the queen on h4. Also, obviously, bishop e6 and so forth. Attacking c4. What's up? Now, the engine said I should have played bishop g5. That's very possibly more accurate. I'm not sure. Castles, queen c7. This was slightly suspicious. Now he's setting up the tactics for me with knight d5. Rook a c1. Yeah, so here it looks like I could do it right away. I should do it right away. Bishop takes f6, and he should play e takes f6. Just willing to accept this, like, bad pawn structure, but he does have some compensation with the dark squared bishop, which is a really strong long-term piece, so it's better for white, not that crushing. I said this is kind of a routine move, rook d1 and then rook b8, and this is actually a strong theme. I didn't consider it, but this c5, maybe. I kind of like my plan, and looks like I was right. He should take back with the pawn on f6. He kind of reflexively took back with the bishop on f6. You know, playing too fast, and I'm not just taking on f6 if I don't have a tactic here. So it's just, you gotta be surprised by bishop takes f6, say what's going on, you know, this is better. Alright. Anyways. Now, guys, today is a subscriber stream, you know, so I'm playing with the subscribers and analyzing games that they'd like to analyze. Nefedov sent me a game. I've got a challenge from Arsenal fan Masu. You guys are welcome to subscribe, by the way. We're a little bit like down on the subscriptions because I think, you know, I haven't been streaming that much with the holidays and the New Year. World Loser, what's up? So please, guys, subscribe. The streams are going to be very regular, unless I'm extremely ill, which is a distinct possibility. But you know, I think you get your money's worth. I'm not somebody who streams like every third week. You know, I'm basically streaming like 6 days a week most of the time. So you get your money's worth for a few bucks, and you support, you know, help support the stream. So it's great. So please subscribe on Twitch, and also check out my YouTube channel where I upload the streams, video chess training on YouTube. So anyway, guys, what's up? I'm a little under the weather. I don't feel really great tonight. Really bad cold. But let's take a look here at... Anyway, Happy New Year. I said that, you know, the other day, but some of you guys are new. You haven't been here since the New Year, so... Alright, Nefedov sent me a game. We'll make this the Nefedov half an hour. Nefedov. I'm trying to pronounce it correctly. Terrible. Alright. He gave me a choice of games to analyze, but I'm going to take this one. He made a note. He said, my game from 4NCL. I wanted to hear your suggestions on how to attack. Mr. Coffee, did you get my game link? Yes. Mr. Coffee, the Kosich game. Yeah, okay. Alright. Mr. Coffee's in there with the Kosich game. This is a game, alright, from the 4NCL. I haven't seen it yet. This is something that Pavel sent me just before the stream started, so I don't have any advanced analysis. Our subscriber, Pavel is white. He's playing e4. As I said before the Blitz game, he always plays a pretty consistent repertoire, which I think isn't a bad policy, you know, if you don't have time to learn many openings. So what's up, guys? D6. Knight to C6. Look at that. What is that about? I'm going to pause the stream while I make... Pausing the sound, and there goes the... Thank you, Lee Chess. Next time I'm going to only blow my nose like during the game while we've got the analysis board up, because then it doesn't hijack the board from me when I press escape. Super annoying. Why would like escape key take you to that screen? That's so random. Alright, let's go back. It just took it away from me. Where's my messages? That's so irritating. It's a study. Now, if I was a member of the study, would it hijack me from this page? That's a good question, but I'm not going to take any chances to figure it out. All right. So, if I press escape, it just hijacks me. I won't do that again. I have to figure out a different hotkey for muting the mic. Okay, this is a very unusual move, and it doesn't have a whole lot of independent significance. The strongest move for white, theoretically, is c4, transposing to the Marazzi. But many players don't like, you know, the long-term, slow grind that's really associated with the Marazzi. For Nefedov, I think he might actually do alright in a Marazzi type position with c4. For example, Pablo, you played, you know, a game the other day against me where you played c4 against e6, you know. I mean, if you're willing to play c4 against e6, I don't see why you can't play c4 here. But more likely you're going to transpose to a variation of the accelerated dragon that you know, or the dragon. Hey Clash Kid, what's up? Good to see you guys. Thank you for subscribing and resubscribing. And we're going to be streaming regularly if I don't die of this cold that I have. Okay, knight c3. Again, theoretically c4 is the one drawback of knight to c6, and then he plays g6. So it's just kind of a weird move order by black. Like, there's no reason for him to play this move order. I guess he avoided the Rossalimo, you know. If we really want to do a Sherlock Holmes here, why is black playing the accelerated dragon? Actually, dragon, by a knight c6 move order. It's really weird. And if he wants to play the dragon, why is he playing knight c6? It just doesn't make sense. Nothing makes sense here. There's no reason for black's move order. Alright. So, okay. Nefedov plays the fish variation, basically. Okay. I have 8 million games against amateur players here on Chess. In this type of line, they'd like to do knight takes c6, but probably this particular version is not too bad for white, because you already have your bishop on c4. When black takes, you're going to play e5, and he can't take on e5. I still think it's probably okay for black. You got some good players here: Makarichev, Feldgeyer, and Brodsky. all willing to go into this position. Let's see. B takes C, E5. Now, experienced dragon players deal with 11 fish variation. I'll show you. Like E4, C5, knight F3, D6, D4, pawn takes pawn, knight takes pawn, knight F6. This is why I suck at bullet chess. Knight C3, G6, F4, knight C6, knight takes C6, B takes C6. Looks familiar, but not quite the same. You know, E5, and now knight D7 is the main line. And I don't know, come to think of it, I don't know if black can play knight to G4. Never really thought about it, but it might be playable. Tarjan played it once. He calls himself Tarjan, but it's actually Hungarian. So Tarjan is his name if we pronounce it properly in Hungarian. Anyways, that's the normal 11 fish dragon. So here the point is that after E5, black can't take. Anyway, you don't want to take. I mean, you don't want to have your pawn structure devastated. Plus you lose your queen here. So he's basically forced to make knight D7 or knight G4. And he didn't know the theory, so this particular guy played knight D7, and I mean, this is playable. But it looks like knight G4 is seriously more active. After knight to G4, I don't know what to recommend for white. In 11 fish dragon, like this bishop will often go, this bishop will often go to E7 rather than fianchettoing. But black's still okay. You know, castles. Yeah, if you play bishop G7, there's some problems here with rook E1 check. So we'd have to go bishop E7, but it's not normally that bad in the normal variations. Oh, sorry, I'm just suffering. There's a game, Gianu, but he was quite young, 2001. Anyway. The engine wants to sack a pawn here with bishop G7. That's a pretty extreme thing to do. What's wrong with the recapture? This is Lupulescu versus Gianu, 2001. These guys were very young. Now they're both strong GMs. Especially Lupulescu. But, okay. Castles, 95. Laszlo Bartze, 1985. So this is an interesting position here, Mr. Nefedov. A bunch of games, and black didn't win one. White seems better. But a whole bunch of different moves. Rasmus Schleite, 2002, against Gawain Jones. Very young Jones there. Bishop E2. You know, there's an argument for bishop E2 because you're looking both ways of the bishop. The position has changed. You know, Nefedov, I think this bishop on B3, it's a good defender, though. It does always, like, block all the threats along the B file here. But it's going to be shut out by D5. So it's kind of double-edged. Maybe Skyte is right, you know, like going back with bishop E2. But it looks like a lot of people also played rook E1. Rook E1. This is better because you can force him to play bishop E7. Oh, no. A couple games where white played rook. Rook takes E5 here. What? Okay, so it's about queen F3. Ali Ferhat, Laszlo Bartze, Stefan Sigan, and Ahmad. Okay, rook takes, D takes E5, queen F3. So Bartzai played this back in 1985 with white. This looks like it's better for white, but not that clear. Castles, bishop h6, and black sacrificed the exchange back here. Maybe best move with bishop f5. Wow. So it's not that convincing. I've never seen this line before. I mean, go this far. So Nefedov, I think this is a seriously like small inaccuracy. Bishop b3, and then he goes bishop e7, but that doesn't make sense. You know, now bishop g7 because he was afraid of f4. This is the key. Bishop g7, f4, knight g4, and now okay, check all you want, but just I play king f8. And there are just big threats. Queen b6 check, and you're all wide open around the king side. So it's a small price to pay, you know, for black here. He has counterplay. I don't know. So it's weird. Black played bishop e7. And then bishop h6. This is best move, preventing black from castling. And then bishop f8. Now, obviously, at the minimum, we have queen d2. How to think like an engine, Soltigo. I try to think like an engine, but I don't really think like an engine. I just try to simulate an engine and start to evaluate like an engine. I think that's what I can try to do. I can't calculate like an engine, but I can try to learn to evaluate like the engine. Queen e2 is excellent. Bishop takes h6. His king is marooned in the center. Man. And you even played knight e4. This is game over. God. Well, what's black's elo? We don't know. Man, murderous. Queen g7. It looks like almost any move is good here. Rook e1. Rook e1, rook d1. I think black is just lost. Check it out. The computer wants to play king d7. Sorry, and rook f8. I mean, I had a game last tournament where I was just crushingly better against Sedlak, and I felt bad about that, but this game is much worse. You're just overwhelming, like +7 here. Even this move is strong. And you sacked a piece, and even that's good. Good God, man. And black offered a draw, which was accepted due to shortage of time for white. Oh my goodness. So you have the check on d6, king d8. That's the obvious line. But you're down a piece, right? It's easy to say, okay, the engine says it's +6. But, you know, to be fair, under pressure, this idea with Queen a5 looks like a huge threat. He still has moves, like Queen e6, Rook b8 to play Rook b6, or Queen e6 to play King e7. Well, you're obviously winning, but maybe there was a simpler way to win. You know, that's what I think is the real mistake here. I mean, taking a draw with your flag hanging or something in a clearly better position is one thing, but what about this knight f6 check, king d8? I mean, you know, okay, if you thought he was going to take with the queen, you would have played it. King d8, and that's the key position, right? Because it looks like he gets away, like rook takes d5, king c7. Suddenly this doesn't look so easy. You have a really nice combo here with rook d7 threatening knight d5 checks. So you actually do win the queen at the end of the day. Queen takes d7, but yeah, Nefedov is taking it easy on this guy. He's got him completely lets him go. But the most devastating was knight takes d5, threatening the queen. And apparently black has no defense here. Alright. Well, I mean, what can we say? You know, just, he didn't see queen c3. But you're worse than me with the draws. This is actually really strong. Even the way you played it is good enough. Now, I'm surprised he didn't play bishop e6. But if you think about the position calmly, you know, look at Stockfish's second suggestion. I mean, this move is extremely logical. Rook d1, just piling up. I mean, at the end of the day, you got to win at least your piece back here, and that's enough. You know, you'll be up 2 pawns in an ending or something. So, I think that just simply rook d1. If you have a time problem, probably rook d1, because you're gonna just take on c8. You know, that's got to be winning, and you'll increase the pressure here. The engine says f6. Fine, let's just trade into the ending. I mean, at the very least, this has got to be a terrible blunder according to Stockfish, but come on. You're just winning up like 2 or 3 pawns in a rook ending, so at the very least you should be able to get to this. Alright. Perhaps like myself, some bad time management. Soltigo sent me a game. Is that your game? Okay. Soltigo. Let's play one Blitz game. Arsenal fan and Soltigo Clash Kid challenging me. Guys, please inform me if we have any new subscribers. I didn't notice. I should get Twitch alerts or something hooked up. Alright. Arsenal fan. What's up, man? What are we gonna do with Arsenal fan? Let's play a modern defense. Alright, you couldn't hear that, thank God. Bishop g7. I was just ill 2 weeks ago, and now I have a different cold. Knight c3. God, I love the winter. Never sick in the summer. d6. Why do we have to get sick in the winter so much? What is it about the winter? Okay, bishop e2. And there is this weird line with like h4, h5 for white that I looked at a while back. Probably the most interesting here, though, would be to go like a6 in hippo style. Soltigo, the game is a draw. Well, this wasn't a draw. It's just that, so you know, Nefedov's opponent offered a draw, and he accepted. But I'm the last person in the world that should be criticizing people for too many draws. I'm working on it. You know, I'm gonna try to play more imbalance. You know, play for more imbalances in my game if I can. That's one thing I'm consciously taking into consideration after the last tournament. But the other thing is time pressure. I get in time pressure too much. I want to just play faster and trust my intuition. It was funny, Grandmaster Shuba, who I've talked about, the Romanian GM Mihai Suba, who wrote Dynamic Chess Strategy, another book on the hedgehog. He's a well-known player. He actually told a story about, you know, learning to trust your intuition, how he did an exercise at like the Calvo Olympiad, where he actually played 2 tournaments simultaneously because he really believes in like intuition. And he said, like, you don't need to have that much time. You use too much time because you have it. You know, you could play faster if you really learn to trust your intuition. So he played 2 tournaments simultaneously, like running from one room to the other, against, you know, world-class players, and he did quite well. Maybe like tying for first in one and doing pretty credibly in the other. Now c5, bishop b5 check. Bothers me a little bit. I wouldn't mind c5, pawn takes pawn, queen a5, but there's that bishop check in there. The idea of bishop e2 is g4. Well, you know, for some people it's g4, for some people it's h4, h5, Arsenal fan. Your idea of g4. It's your idea to play g4. It all depends on the person, I guess. It's definitely a variation, and I don't know the theory too well. Never been a like super respected line. So they say that a wing attack should be answered with a strike in the center. Now I still want to play c5 here. But what am I going to do when he plays g5? I think I looked at this. Yeah, this must have been the line. You actually prepared for someone who played the Pierce in this line the other day. Okay. Yeah, I think this is the way I'm supposed to do it. If I remember my deep analysis. Not very deep, but this is about as much as I know. We play c5, and then we try to distract you from this nasty, you know, idea of a flank attack. But I'm not certain this is the best for black. Possibly you could even take on c5. But I'm a King's Indian player. You know, this is very common idea in Averbach, King's Indian, and some other weird lines. If you put his pawn back on g2 and put the other one on c4, you know, it looks like a game I had with Kaidanov. Put this pawn on c4 and push this one back here. You know, we might have something like a book Averbach line. Oh, a pseudo Averbach with bishop on e3. I may be lying. I don't know, something close to that. But the Pierce is a little different. So he can play king f1 here. He can also... What else can he do? You know, some kind of queen d2, like a normal move. Queen d2 is interesting. I wonder if I could play rook d8 there. Queen d2, rook d8, knight d5. It's probably okay for me. Not certain. Rook d8 is kind of provocative. And what am I going to do? Oh yeah. Queen d2, rook d8, you know, threatening d takes c. If he takes on d6, I'm taking on e4. And I guess there, if he takes on e7, I'm just taking, like playing rook e8 or something. But, yeah, f3. Now we need like some Bela Perani type of bishop sacrifice on... Oh no. Oh no. Bill. Bishop takes g4. Bishop takes g4. I'm down a whole piece there. I don't think that's going to cut it, but it might. It might even cut it. There's just one thing that bothers me at the end. There is this ridiculous variation. Bishop takes g4. I mean, maybe it's all just silly. I mean, he could even take here on bishop takes g4. I think I should. Let's think about this a little bit more. I might even be able to play another move like bishop e6. Knight takes e4. Of course, I could do bishop g4 and just recapture on d6. Bishop g4, f takes g4, knight takes e4. Then he has bishop d4. Sorry, guys. See, I'm lazy to calculate these kind of tactics. Nah, screw it. I'm just going to play routinely here. I mean, I think this is fine. I'm going to get control of d4. The bottom line is that his move f3 is kind of slow. You know? I think it's just slow. I don't need to do anything fancy. If he plays g5, I have rook d8. And he can't even play knight d5 because my queen's on a5. So, I mean, white might be okay here somehow, but he's still going to have to play kind of artificially, you know. I would have played h4 instead of g4. Clash Kid, I think that's a line. I mean, have you played that against me? Somebody played this against me, Clash Kid. I mean, it could have been you. But I think this is theory, like h4 c5, if I'm not mistaken. Well, some sort of theory anyway. Aha. Alright. You know, now knight d5 is possible. He defends everything. So, okay. Nothing fancy, no tactics. I think we just developed the pieces here. At the end of the day, his king and knight and bishop are kind of messed up. You know, nothing fancy. Again, no sacrifices, just we're gonna try to play real fluid development with bishop e6 and then get to the d and c file. I guess d file. I mean, the c file is nothing. I think I rushed the opening as I have to go out in a bit. That was not me, that was my opponent. Alright, now the eternal question of h5, it's like the Najdorf. Do we go to h5 or do we go to d7? I gotta, like, consider even knight e8, actually. You know, I mean, that's kind of backwards, but not forever. Where's my knight going from d7? I'd like to go to e5. Alright. I'm going to go back to e8. It also guards c7 in the event of like knight to d5, queen d8, bishop f4. Something weird like that. We go home. No problem. Everything's cool. Your b2 pawn is hanging and I'm threatening. Nothing special. But I think that black is better here. Yeah, this is probably a mistake. This is the most combative move. Knight d4. Not trading pieces. And obviously occupying a key square. I'm not interested in his white squared bishop. I just want to avoid exchanges. And maybe kick him off. You know, my spider senses are like, whoa, G3's weak. But it's not that easy. to kill him. He's just defending his g5 pawn. So what do I do? Queen d6. King f2. He might actually be happy with his king on f2. So we need something better. Developing. Yeah. This is my devious trick now. I thought this is on the same diagonal as this. You know, so maybe we can do a sneaky intermezzo. Maybe this isn't even so good. Maybe this isn't even so good. I don't know. So I'm looking at queen g3 check. But he has two ways to get away. Everything's good. Everything's cool. But he's kind of hanging on here. Considering every option for black here. Every single option must be considered. And I don't know which one is best. Alright. Queen check is nothing. He's got the stupid king d2. Then I go to f4. Alright. Let's throw it in there. Oh, he lost on time. Alright, it's not a forced win for black, it looks like. I'm not sure I made the best move. But king d2... I expected to play queen f4 check, but surprisingly I'm like winning by force after king d2. I thought he was like getting away, you know. That's interesting. He should play king f1. And then I just play knight takes e6. His king can't move. His king's in the middle of the board. You got to admit that this is not fun for white. But he's not necessarily lost. So he hung in there. As far as the opening goes... yeah, I mean, you know, h4 is the main line here. And then I'm supposed to play c5. That's like what I was remembering. And I guess the thing that was bothering me about c5 was like white going here check. But apparently that's not a big deal moving because he's moving it in 2 moves. Well, that's actually like the main line. There's even relatively recent games. Jabava, Grishuk, Tomaszewski, Kramnik. Okay. So instead he plays bishop e3. This is an interesting hybrid. And it looks like a lot of players do the standard c6 type of stuff. Or a6. I just castled into it. Yeah, probably Arsenal fans should transfer to one of these like 150 attacks with like queen d2 or something. But yeah, g4, c5. These are obscure games, actually. This is an obscure line. You know? Who's played this? Yurshi Nunn and Pavel Simicek. You know, it's funny. I actually... I think I remember analyzing this. Because I considered d5, but I don't really like this. d5 is weird. c5, okay, g5. Zaitchik playing black. Gennady, I always thought he looked like a mafioso from like the 20s or something. Gennady Zaitchik is a good Pirtz player, or was. I don't know if he's still around. Yeah, so I think I had seen this in that other game that I played weeks ago, months ago. The engine wants to play 98. That's funky. Wow. It's passive to play 98. So I played like Zaitchik. with knight d7, and everybody played that. And so apparently, Rich, you're supposed to play knight f3. Just develop your pieces here. Transition to a kind of... Actually, maybe Nefudov would like this. It's like a weird sort of classical dragon where you've moved your g pawn up to g5. Okay, queen d2 or knight f3. I guess this is suspicious. I'm sorry, that's not the game. That's just analysis. D takes c5. That's a novelty. Wait a minute. This isn't the game either. You didn't play g5. Okay. So you play d takes c right away. Queen a5 is best. And Arsenal fan, you could play bishop d2 straight away. Maybe that's better than playing f3. You ended up playing f3 and bishop d2. And it doesn't seem necessary to play both. You could just play bishop d2, maybe. I still don't really like white's position. g4 looks kind of weird. Looks like I played this correctly. I think... Did I talk about this move? Rook d8? It's very Botvinnik. But I was seriously looking at this. I mean... But I missed the main point. You know, this is an interesting line. You might have an in-between move. e5. Very complicated. And even this is very complicated. What did I say? Bishop d4? Apparently that's playable. But this is better. You have just bishop d2. And now I have a bunch of pawns for a piece. Okay, so, you know, the jury is out, but this is unclear, you know. I only have 3 pawns for a piece, and it's not clear that black is better. So I made the right call, not sacking a piece here. I took back, plays g5, knight e8 was good, and I got to go back, plays bishop c3. Apparently that was a mistake. You should play like queen c1. This is best. Bishop e6 is good. And now here I missed something. I played queen d6. Dubious, according to Stockfish. Yeah, I'm very much under the weather, man. I'm not feeling good. I love you guys, though, and I'm doing the stream anyway. And I will pause the mic when I'm... Oh, no. Alright. God damn it. I hate this escape button. Let me get back to my game, please. Oh, the escape button. Alright, Arsenal fan. Anyways, so apparently I messed up with queen d6. That's odd. This is my big inaccuracy. I'm supposed to play queen c7, not queen d6, because I guess that leaves the rook open to come to d8, to kill him along the d file. Subtle point, but a very important one. If I play queen c7, my rook can join the fun along the d file and assassinate white here. Queen d6 not quite as good. And then I should probably take here. But I just couldn't resist this check, which is another dubious move. After king f1, he looks like he's alive. Alright guys, fun game. So we're not muted. Alright. Alright, let's do a game analysis. Soltigo sent me a game. Anybody else who wants to send in a game who's a subscriber, let me know. Hopefully this is an instructive game. What? The Buddha scares me. The Budapest. Yeah, no easy way out. Alright, Soltigo is white. This is a, you know, a fun opening. I like bishop f4, man. I think this is the best. I played it before on the stream. You know, you got Jabava and Mamedyarov playing like g5. I mean, this variation is just not good for black. I don't care who played it, you know. Mamedyarov beat Alyanov and Jabava beat Wojtasik. It's like... But notice that Mamedyarov lost to Kharulin. This is very, very bad for black. If you know what you're doing with white. And so black needs to play a normal line. Like in short Karpov, I think they had this line years ago. 94? I don't remember. There it is, 92. You know, so Karpov took him out. You know, actually Karpov lost the game in that match, which was very, very costly in the Budapest. He apparently won one too. But I think this is the best, man. Not knight f3. This is the one line that's a little bit fun for black. Soltigo. They get to go bishop c5, and then they get to go... Usually they get to go a5 later on and try to bring the rook across. Later, guys. Later, Arsenal fan. Move 11 cent in a game. So, there are many, many moves here. Soltigo, years ago, there was this book called The Soviet Chess Conveyor, I think. No, maybe it was that book. I think it was that book. Where Shereshevsky, you know, he actually recommended a lot of, like, slightly offbeat lines for his students. And against the Budapest, he gave, like, this line. This, if you want to play something that'll kind of mess people up, the bishop d2, it's a good move. Your plan is like a Rubinstein French to bring the bishop out to c3. You can definitely kind of think of this as like white's playing an aggressive version of the Rubinstein French. Maybe you'll even like take, if you want to play dynamically, and I think you'll appreciate this, Soltigo, maybe you'll even play positions where you like take on f3 with your pawn and created like imbalance in the structure and try to like castle queenside. So, not a lot of people know about bishop d2, but it's not a bad move. You played knight c3. This is very standard. Sorry, guys. I should have muted the escape button. Wojtasik, wow, short's been added again, apparently. I didn't know he was continuing to play this opening. He lost one to Karyakin. I'll have to look at that game later. Your opponent took with the G knight. I kind of prefer taking with the C knight. Now A5, there it is. And they're going to do this rook A6 across thing, you know, trying to create some tactical havoc. I think I might have had this position with white in Hastings like 20 years ago in a game. And I probably played something like knight E4. This is one move you can do, kind of crossing black's plans. You know, he doesn't really want to play bishop a7 because that'll block his rook a6, rook across transfer. And, you know, in the other options, he goes back to f8. And then, you know, his bishop isn't bothering you as much on this diagonal. So I think that knight e4 is not a bad move. Oddly enough, never played exactly in this position. Knight takes, bishop takes, knight e5. And now knight d5. Wow. Apparently knight e4 here is played. You know, the normal move is like bishop e2. But after bishop e2, rook a6. And, you know, black's in business with some cheap attacking plans. Mamedyarov, surprisingly, again there. Wow, even Korchnoi played it. Your big hope from interesting games. Yeah, in the candidates. Well, Aronian better have some interesting games if he wants to win the tournament. He better bring it. But Mamedyarov knows how to take risks. But I think the Budapest with g5 is going a little too far. It's not necessary to play these lines with g5. I don't think he'll do that against that caliber of players in the candidates tournament. You know, playing the Budapest, I don't think he'll do either, but you never know. So, he took an f3. He played the rook a6, knight f4, rook h6. Yeah, it's nice, but white's actually better here. I don't think the bishop pair is necessarily better than the strong knight and good bishop. And this scary, you know, rook queen thing. It's not a big deal. And meanwhile, you have the deep pressure on the D line, and that's the deciding factor. I think that white is just better because he cannot answer this annoying, you know, backwardness like forever and ever on the D file. So you've got to be better here. Subtle Tigo, that's his name. We call him Subtle Tigo, threatening mate in 1. Always threaten mate in 1. If you can't help it. Nice game though, sir. And like, it looks like you have C5. I mean, it's funny, the Soltico played Rook D2, which is a good move, but the engine wants to play Rook D5, threatening Rook G5, and snapping this pawn over on A5. Hello, Mr. Pawn. So C6, Rook H5, trading off that scary rook. White's just in control here. Nice game, man. Nice game. Rook D2 a little passive. I think you should trade on H4. If the queen trade is forced, let's not let him double our pawns, probably. I think that's a slight disadvantage for you to allow him to take on G3. It's not awful for you, but you might regret it. You should take on H4. Nice, nice. He's got to take. Oh no. The C takes. Is it good? Wow. So rook takes is just not enough. Soltico goes full solo floor, and he's turning his attention to the C file. Very, very, very nice. Maybe black can defend with like bishop e7, bishop e7, bishop d8. This is gonna hold on. Bishop e7, bishop d8. Begging for mercy. Is that what he did? He didn't do it. Oh no. Oh no. Rook c2. That's awkward. That's awkward. But he can play like rook d7 maybe. You could just go rook c1 though. Okay, what's the plan here? f3 is a subtle move. It drops the e3 pawn. You let him off the hook a little bit. You really let him off the hook a little bit. Now he's got that stupid active rook down on h1. Oh man, it looks like black is holding on, maybe. Active defense. And now you just bailed out completely. But g4, g5, you have some tiny advantage. So this should be a draw. Maybe it was. Yeah, you said it was a draw, right? Actually, this was very dangerous what you did. You gave him 2 connected pass pawns. It's a miracle you're not lost. Whew. You're cutting it really close. Like, his king f6. Ah. Oh, no. You may be lost here. Jeez. So, Soltico... Oh, man. a4. This is awkward. Now you're on the verge of lost. And he just drops a pawn. And this is a draw. Textbook draw. Bad technique by both players. And you both had quite a bit of time left. Like 2 minutes plus. I mean, this should be a dead draw before this. You know, here, rook takes, you did what? King f3, b5. There's got to be a better way to play this. Rook b7, b4, g4. Rook b7, b4. You can always stay on his a pawn. You just don't want him to have two connected pass pawns. So we can restrict his king, and then get on his A pawn, and then he'll do something crazy like H5. And it doesn't look like he can make progress. Let's see, King F8, check. King E7, check. Let's see if he walks away. And if he tries to do this, your pawns are actually faster than his. So that's a bad rook endgame by both sides, but anyway, at least you had the proper result at the end. But I really like the opening, the early middle game. You know, Soltigo, you were taking him out, and then a really good capture, C takes D5, where, you know, the routine move is rook takes D5, and you were basically almost winning, but you let him kind of slip away there. Okay, good game. Let's take a challenge here from Soltigo. I can mute the mic when we're playing a Blitz game without the screen leaving me. That's always good. So, Soltigo. Anyway, guys, I want to thank you for subscribing, and please continue to do so. I'm going to be streaming like 6 days a week unless I'm on my deathbed. I'm close, but it's still looking like I'm going to do the stream tomorrow morning, and a simul on Sunday, 6:30 p.m. on Sunday. Tomorrow at 10 a.m. Camel Culture, what's up, man? Marius, thanks for subscribing. Didn't notice you there. I was really concentrating on this game analysis. So I want to thank all you guys who subscribed. I've got some really bad lag on my Twitch stream for some reason. When I try to scroll up, it's like taking 5 seconds for it to do it. Alright, let's think about what we're going to play. I got to confuse Soltigo with some weird line. No, I'm just kidding. I don't actually have to confuse him. He always goes on his own direction anyway. So, you know, this is a very strange move that Grandmaster from Argentina, Grandmaster Quinteros, played on a number of occasions. Just something to get white off the beaten track. But an interesting reaction. Soltigo wants to go... He wants to go more a gambit on me. Aha. I haven't actually encountered this in any any of my Blitz games. That looks kind of dangerous. But I'm going to take the challenge. I might not live to regret this, but Queen C7 against the Mora Gambit. What am I going to do? C3. What else can I do here? You know, I'm an idiot. Okay, I want to take back this move. I want to take back that move. Maybe I'll play knight f6 if I have to play this again. Next time I'm going to play knight f6. We can transpose to a c3. But anyway, here we are. I'm a little scared. Do I go e6 or knight c6? Alright, that was bad. We are dying of this cold. Knight takes c3. Knight to c6. I hope I live to see another chess day. I'm playing queen c7 in the Mora Gambit. This is really weird. Yeah, you should try camel culture. People don't know what the hell to do against queen c7. You'll definitely pick up a point here and there out of confusion, but I wouldn't push my luck too much with it. It has its drawbacks. It's actually very good if you can transpose. If you're a player who plays the Taimanov and stuff like that, if you're comfortable transposing to other queen c7 type of lines, it's probably more appropriate to have in your repertoire. You know, here I was like thinking about queen b8, you know, but when you really think about it, maybe I should go back to d8. What do you guys think? All right, screw it. We're gonna try to profit from this queen move. I know I'm gonna regret this. It's a good thing that Soltico has a limited amount of time. Just remember, I could have gone back to d8. It might have been more sensible. Played bishop b5. He's not actually threatening anything. I guess he is. All right. Scary initiative here for white. I'm on the precipice of disaster. I would be happy to get away with a draw probably after doing this, but it just didn't occur to me, you know, to not take the pawn. I should just play knight f6, and after e5, knight d5, pawn takes pawn. We're going to transpose to a pseudo-normal Alpine Sicilian. I think that Soltico is pushing the envelope here pretty hard. Gonna have to call his bluff with e5. It's the Sveshnikov. It's the weirdest Sveshnikov ever. I am officially terrified. I probably have to play a, you know, fair series of only moves in some positions. Fortunately, you know, Soltico likes to get a little carried away. So that gets the better of him, you know. Sometimes he doesn't play the best move, he plays the most spectacular move. And that's what we call playing for the gallery. You've been playing for a month and I'm still only 900. I still don't think that's bad for a month. You know, I played for like 2 years and I was like 1300. You know. All right. This was one of the variations, like the main variations I was worried about. But I'm not convinced that I'm lost here. Sheer fantasy. Rook c1 was my main line. Bishop takes d5, queen takes d5. And like knight e7, and I'm not really sure what white's doing. What else is he supposed to do? But don't do this at home. If you decide to play the very deranged queen c7, my recommendation is, I'm up a piece here. Do I want to take more? Do I want more? All right, we want more. Okay, no problem. We're up 2 pieces. He's just simply going crazy, having fun with it. And then it's the ultimate Milner-Barry French, where it's 2 pieces, not 2 pawns. Better for black. Too creative. We're out of here very, very soon. I'm sorry, guys. Violently ill with this cold, but I promise I'll get better in the next couple of days. But I didn't want to, cheat you guys out of a stream, so you just have to endure the horrible sounds of my coughing. Bishop d7. I am trying to mute the... Hi, Mom. Alright. Escape key. You think about playing over the board games going for the FM title? My openings are still holding me back. Yeah, I mean, the opening is the easiest part of the game to improve in. And it's one of the only parts of the game where you can almost, like, definitively say, especially with computer analysis, you can almost, like, definitively say, like, what the best move is, literally. It's pretty easy to get better at the openings pretty quickly. You still have to have the ability to evaluate positions. But if you have someone guiding you, like a coach or a trainer or just a friend who plays a lot, that would obviously help. Because, choosing your openings without, a strong player to help you may be difficult. But I think that, okay, let's take a look, guys. This is not correct for me. I'm not going to tell you the refutation. The refutation is knight c3. It's not actually a refutation, but black must play knight c6 now. I bluffed Varadi Victor and played e6. This is bad for black. It's really bad for black. Because of Sutovsky game, that's like d4. C takes d4, knight b5, and black is just flattened here. So, Berkesh drew him somehow. I mean, that's ridiculous, but Fatso is tough. So it's not a disgrace, but no, this d4 isn't as good. After knight c3, knight c6, we transpose to a normal, like, Taimanov Sicilian. I think this is okay. If you play the Taimanov Sicilian, this is a funny move order to play for black. Nothing wrong with it. The other good move is c3 for white, and I think that's also very interesting. c3, knight f6, e5, knight d5, and it's a game. I mean, queen c7 is not so bad in the c3 Sicilian. There may be some lines where it's very reasonable. But Soltico, I never encountered this. And, well, there's a 2011 game with Bayon Lopez and Bayon Lopez. D takes c3 is recommended by the computer. I was going to bail and play knight f6 here. I think this is the safest approach, hands down. E5, knight there. Wow, this is Timon versus Quinteros. And some other games too. Lair. My teammate Janos Rigo played in 1991. But anyway, this is another story. This looks like an interesting novelty. Knight a3. But anyway, okay, d takes c3. Knight takes c3. Bayon lost to... I know this guy, Arman Deniz from Turkey. He was playing this year in Zalakarosh. And then I ran into him in the Budapest... ran into him in the Budapest downtown part. Okay, let's see. Knight c6, knight d5, and he's a crazy attacker, this guy. This Turkish FIDE master, Arman. Really good attacker. So, he took out a strong player in Bayon Lopez. Queen d8 is the question, So, the old shark played queen b8 like me. But my instincts were like, no, go to d8. No, it's safer to stay in the center. And it looks like this is the better move. So I really should go back to d8. And I did the same thing as Bayon and the husband of Pia Kramling. And this guy did the same thing. Bishop f4. And this is a guy who plays the Mora anyway, as far as I know. So naturally, Bishop e5, Soltigo following this game. And now he just upped the ante with Rook c1. But Stockfish found the mother of all moves in this position. We knew it was there. e5. There has to be something for white here. So, not surprisingly, can we do e5? Soltico did what he took on c6. That was premature. You're releasing the tension. Castles is okay, obviously. Denis played rook c1, not bad. Soltico, you're basically cashing in your chips too soon here with bishop takes c6. e5. This is crazy position. If I take, I get annihilated somehow. Wow. Total annihilation. Knight takes e5. What a beautiful position. That's why you need your queen on d8, guys. You don't think you should be challenging. You're warming up for the Norwegian Rapid Championship. You should be challenging me, I think. This is a beautiful line, man. Knight takes e5. Game over. So I can't take. I have to play e6. And then it's Fascination Street. Again, it's very similar to the Milner-Barry French. E takes d6. Can I take on d6? Is that possible? Oh my god, you can do that. Like bishop takes d6. I love this variation. Bishop takes d6, bishop takes d6, knight f6 check, king e7. Living on the edge. Queen takes d6 check, king here, rook d1 check, or castles. And then king c5, exclam. Not losing a piece. But nevertheless, this is not recommended for black. Not recommended. So we have to, yeah, we have to not play queen b8. I think that's the truth. You know, after queen d8, we're going to go back and we're going to play queen d8 next time. If I ever get here again. It's not clear this free move knight d5 is really beneficial to white. You know, he may have just placed his knight on d5 a little bit early. So we'll have to ask Mark Esserman, the chief of the Mora Gambit. Alright, Clash Kid is up next. Thank you guys for tolerating my wonderful condition, and thank you for subscribing. All out of Palinka. It's the only thing keeping me alive. We're not all out of Palinka, but we're getting low, and I don't want to drink too much. But a little alcohol to keep myself like standing upright. Alright, Clash Kid with the Slav. Oh, there's no way to avoid the Slav. God, I hate the Slav. How about e4? Play the Caro Khan. The Blitz game I should have beaten Naka was like e5, knight f3. I'm not going to live in the past. I don't need to worry about my condition. It's not serious. Alright, so here we are. I'm going to play the Panov Caro Khan. That's something I've played a lot for both sides, so I know what I'm doing. And I hopefully, like, Clash Kid doesn't normally play the black side of the Panov, so. You can transpose to the hillbilly attack, can you? How do I do that? No. How am I going to transpose to the hillbilly attack? Are you guys talking about something else? I may have missed the context. Alright, not in this game, but something like the hillbilly attack has been called. Yeah, the solid e6. Not really Clash Kid style. He likes kind of sharp, usually unclear, crazy stuff. This is like Karpovian. It's also a Nimzo if you play bishop b4, which I have. I'm specializing in knight c6 nowadays. It's another move. Okay. 5-5 is fine. Okay, you guys are talking about a personal grudge match. Old school. Old school Karo Khan. Okay, now what do we do? Is this where I'm supposed to play c5 now? c5, it's c5, b6, that's not right. a3 is a move. I don't know. You can play c takes d. There was this guy, Braden Bourneval, who became a really good poker player like myself. We were both supernovas on Poker Stars, and we actually used to play in the same sit and goes together. But Braden used to play like c takes d, e takes d, and not too many people like would ever do that with black. You know, normally people want to play against the isolated queen pawn, but he would always recapture with the e pawn. And it's actually hard for white to do anything there. Anyways, I think that a3 is a move. I'm sort of threatening like c5 to support it with b4, and we'll also transition to a kind of Queen's Gambit accepted in the event of black taking on c4. There was this old grandmaster from Hungary too, Laszlo Vadás. He also used to like to take with the e pawn on d5. Grudge match. My cold was really nothing like a couple days ago. It got out of control. Feel free to send flowers or money. Bombus challenges me. Okay, I'm basically playing the subscribers. If we run out of subscribers to kill, I'll take the other challenges. I mean, I guess it's not forced to play c5, but theoretically, you know, now at this point, if I play bishop d3, yeah, that's also okay. Old school. This is very old school. I probably, you know, studied this for black like 100,000 years ago. I don't remember what I'm supposed to do here. This is no longer a Slav, sir. This is the Karo Khan, I guess. Rook b1? Is that what I'm supposed to play? I guess. I really don't know. It's like I never ever get this kind of position anymore. Almost didn't play it in the first place. Then there's this question about whether white wants to go nuts and play with like a queenside pawn duo. That is some risky stuff there, man. You're giving me like two connectors. Let's do it. It's definitely safer to take with the other way, but alright. We got two connected passed pawns versus the center. Man, I don't know. It's probably I don't know what he should do actually. I haven't seen one of these positions in a long time for both sides. Actually, I never like to play this way with black. It's just too hairy. But fun. We did get in a dynamic position with Clash Kid, which is not unheard of. Okay. Tomorrow, guys, I'm gonna be, if I'm still alive in the morning, I will be streaming again. If I don't feel too awful. I look great, you know, I know that I'm beautiful, but I feel even worse than I sound. You know, a scale of 1 to 10, I look like a 10. I smell like a 5. I, sound like a 4, and I basically feel like a 2. D takes C5. Yeah, it's fun, isn't it? Knight A6. I need to contend with my development, number 1. What's he gonna do? Like, rook B8 or something? Sack a piece with knight takes B4? Some craziness? Alright, I'm gonna just go with my gut instinct here. We have bishop A3 if necessary. And there are different ways I could approach this, like putting my bishop on E2 so as not to block my queen's protection of the oncoming pawns. But it's more passive, it has other disadvantages, I mean, in the future I might have less control of E5 after something like castles rook E1. He's probably looking at ridiculous sacrifices like knight takes B4. Maybe not totally ridiculous, but hard to believe that's correct. I really, I think that this variation is so old that when we go to the Lichess Opening Explorer, they're going to be like no games. But if I opened up ChessBase, we'll probably find a whole mess of games where this opening was played like a million years ago. Okay, I'm suddenly concerned about a very strange thing here. We could always take on A6 and play B5 with tempo. I don't really like giving up my bishop, and my pawns become a little difficult to protect. We have other strange tactics like knight to D4 here. That's not a developing move. Okay, there's weird moves too, like queen A4. What's he going to do if I play queen A4? Trap my queen or something? Queen A4, bishop D7, queen takes A6? No. Queen A4. Developing a piece. He might play knight C7, and then I just castle, and I'm like, I'm out of here, dude. Alright. Tactics. No. Check. Alright. Kind of a weird move, but I think it's okay. Instantly D4. Now I'm officially concerned. Why is he playing that move so quickly? He had time to think. Bishop takes A6. It's kind of weird. We have a lot of moves in this position. He's not really even threatening anything. Knight E4. Knight E4. Knight E2. E5. Alright, screw it. I don't know what to do. We're at 240 each. Clash Kid putting all of his money on the table with the tactics here. I've got 2 connected pass pawns, and his d4 pawn is basically beyond the point of no return. So he's got to get something tactically, because he's going to get crushed. And the point is, he can't play e5 without me just taking it. I mean, I don't understand that. So we got the blockade. B1 is protected. I don't know. He has bishop d7 dropping a piece with no queen trap. I don't see it for black. Yeah. Soltigo should start playing over the board. How long does it take one to adjust from online to over the board? I don't really know because I never actually went through that. But I'm assuming that it's different for everyone. I think we should just castle. Then he's got d3 though. Damn. Alright, we can't mess around. I should just take this pawn off. It's a nasty bugger. And e5 would be nasty too. So I have to take with this pawn. This pawn. This is a pawn, guys. Alright. No fear. We're up a piece. Oh. Bill. Queen b6. Uh-oh. Oh no. Okay, it doesn't actually make me too happy. I finally found something for him. That sucks. Oh, shit. Found a tactic. I'm gonna lose my f2 pawn. Man. Now I have no idea what's going on. This sucks. I may be worse now. My king is unsafe. Maybe I should even sack a pawn. I don't really like my game here. Sack a piece. At least I can draw this. But he wants more. That's weird. Wow. I'm like tactically lost or something. He didn't want, it wasn't just winning a piece wasn't enough for him. He wanted more. Why didn't I play bishop e2? Okay, it's not so clear. Actually, this isn't so clear. Bishop a6. It's amazing play by black. I didn't like the dangerous lines. I just bailed out, like giving the piece back for some 4 against 3 ending on the king side I can draw. I was terrified of letting him take on f2. I think I'm ripped apart there. I'm happy to just try to not lose. I think I made a colossal mistake tactically, and probably I was nearly lost. You know, maybe I can salvage this for a draw. Then he makes this weird move. Knight takes e2, bishop takes, pawn takes. He's playing for more. Just giving the piece back. I have great drawing chances here. It's not that easy, but oh no. He walked into the mother of all pins. But it's not decisive, unfortunately. It's still a draw. Well, it's not a draw. I mean, he's up a pawn. I think I should draw this, but okay, he can, you know, he can try. Just resign. Save yourself the trouble and resign. Do I have Discord? No. Just take my queen and resign. technical ending, you know, that's probably a draw there. Here. All right, I'll take the draw. I'm down, you know, I'm down a pawn. I mean, objectively, it's probably a draw, but it's still like kind of unpleasant being down a pawn in an ending. I have the bishop, but I'm really curious about this. First of all, the opening, you know, is anything... Okay, bishop d3 is the main line. Like, c5 is old school. Now, apparently I forgot, though, that this is a move. I couldn't possibly remember that from 30 years ago. The engine likes my move. Now, I was saying, okay, the Lichess Opening Explorer is not complete. There are millions of games from pre-2000 that really should be in there. I'd be willing to place a bet that there are probably, like, you know, tons of master games, either before databases or just that have been overlooked, where this position has been reached. I would definitely get ChessBase if you're really serious about, or some database program, if you're really serious about it. The Lichess Opening, you know, Explorer is free, but it's not enough. A lot of good chess has been forgotten. Yeah, so this is some crazy stuff here. Knight e4 is like a normal kind of thematic move for these types of lines. But you gotta be a crazy, massive expert. So apparently you missed something. Apparently, okay, my plan was to play bishop a3, and then I saw something I didn't like. You know, I saw a ghost here. I guess this. This freaked me out. You know, basically, I saw this, and I started to panic. But that's a funny position. You can't win a piece because you can sack the exchange, though. This is probably holdable for black, or at least you have a good chance. You're going to get like 2 pawns for the exchange. This is probably a draw with perfect play by both sides. So bishop a3, you know, didn't really work, and I started to panic, so I played this. So you have the annihilating tactic here. Rook takes b4, which everyone missed. That wasn't analyzing with a computer. That is insane. Rook takes b4, rook takes b4, knight takes c5. Good night, everybody. Peace out. Queen c2, knight takes here. You pick up a free rook. Thanks for doing business, and you're up 2 pawns. Yeah, it's easy game. Queen a4 did not work out too well, but luckily he missed it. He played this. He's got it again. Even now he's got the tactic. Wow. How does he have this even now? Damn, dude. And he played the wrong tactic. He took here and then played this, and I'm winning. You know, I had to be a little bit greedy. I was afraid if I castle, he has d3 with some complications. But I guess that's all a fallacy. So we both missed like really strong moves. And then here, it's really equal. This isn't the best move because of the text move, or bishop a6 maybe. Yeah, I saw this. I was a little freaked out about bishop e4. I should just castle here. I mean, that's probably a draw. But I was pretty upset, you know, with not winning up a piece. So I played this routine move. He has bishop e4 check. He missed that. Castles. Now here, another tactical mistake. I thought I'm worse here, you know. I thought I was seriously worse here. But I'm forgetting that you can't move your knight. This is a huge hallucination. I actually thought he was going to have like knight g4. That's ridiculous, you know? So the whole thing, like, doesn't really work. You might be able to draw, but you're not better. I mean, you're definitely clearly worse here. So we both made a lot of tactical mistakes. And that's not surprising, because we're human. Alright, I'm going to play against Havgar. Does anybody else have a game analysis they sent me? Okay. Move 11 we'll do next, after this game. Getting used to the 3D board. Yeah, you could try playing... I would recommend playing long games online with an actual board in front of you. That's probably the best way to do it. Yeah, play classical games on Lichess with an actual board set up in front of you with a long time control, like 30-30, and play on the actual board until you get down to like 5 minutes or less. And when it gets down to a time pressure situation, then you can switch to playing on the actual like computer screen. I used to play serious training games with engines 15 years ago, before it was totally hopeless. I used to play training games with engines where I would play with an actual board, entering the moves on the board. No, I think it's good. Isn't that cheating? Cheating, no. I don't think it's cheating. It's cheating if you're analyzing. It's cheating if you're analyzing variations, but it's not cheating if you're just relaying the moves. You know, I don't think it's technically cheating. I mean, possible some stickler for rules might claim that, you know, but I mean, give me a break. Havgar, did Havgar leave? He's not on my friend list, so I don't know if he's still online. Alright, I'm going to cancel the challenge and analyze this game with, and Havgar can come back. I'm going to analyze this move 11 game. What are your thoughts on this line in the 2 Knights Caro-Kann? Would you recommend it for white? Yeah, this is an interesting line. Okay. Correspondence chess. Okay. So, move 11, one of our regular subscribers, who generously donated to the stream to support the stream this year. Thank you for that, this past year. This is a... What is this? You said a correspondence chess. I've never played this line in my life with white, but it's pretty popular. Yeah, I mean, okay. Honestly, I learned the Caro-Kann 30 years ago, and in the old days, Bishop G4 is good enough, you know. Garris beat Fischer twice in this line, and to my mind, there's just nothing wrong with Bishop G4. You know, I think this is very solid, but I suppose Black has, you know, and all top grandmasters are always looking for new ideas, you know. Knight F6 is like a kind of newer line. 20-30 years ago, this move wasn't, you know, as well known. I mean, I think it existed, but it wasn't as popular as Bishop G4. Now it's kind of trendy. Actually, speaking of Fischer, there is a famous Fischer game where he played, I think he played with Grandmaster, the original Friedrich Olofsson in this line. So, Knight E2, Queen B6. What am I thinking? Okay, D4. Yeah, so the Fischer-Olofsson game was actually C5 here. And that's actually playable. A lot of people claim that C5 is like lost, or it's not lost. This is a playable line. Like, Olofsson lost against Fischer because he wasn't as good a player. I'm not sure that this variation is bust for Black, but maybe the E6 is better. So there's some crazy stuff here. Sorry, trying to trap the knight on E4. This is also a theme in the Alekhine's defense. You guys know this line, like E4, Knight F6, Knight C3, D5, or whatever this is, like pseudo Alekhine's defense. I always played a lot of this 94, 92, and then this line. This is weird. Black plays f6, and you try to kind of trap the knight on e4. That's crazy, but not that different. There have been a lot of games in this relative recently, but I think it's okay. I did analyze this with one of my students a while back, and there's this Vacher game. The Vacher Anand game is like the highest level game. Maybe Vacher played this with black, if I'm not mistaken. Hey, what's up, Clash Kid? Good game, man. Nice job. Yeah. So you see here, Vacher has actually played with both sides in this line. There's also a game Dominguez against Vacher. That's important too. Okay, so knight g5, e takes f6, g takes f6, f4. This is the critical position, and it's funny if you look. It looks like the vast majority seems to be going toward knight f7. You know, I think that Vacher played that against Dominguez in this game I was talking about, 2013. But to me, you know, maybe I'm crazy, but knight e4 looks like kind of more natural move than knight f7. I'm not on a level with Vacher, but my take on this is that knight f7 is like kind of more like almost trying to be more aggressive for black. Like he's trying to avoid exchanges and stuff like that. My take on it. I mean, I may be wrong, but that's the way I feel. You know, Stockfish is like split on these two moves. Now it's changing its mind. It says knight e4 is better. For what it's worth, my take is that knight f7 is a winning try. Like Vacher wants a more complicated game against Dominguez to try to take him out. I don't know. Knight e4 seems to be the safer move. And then knight g3. And this looks okay for black. I mean, even knight f7 is okay. Bishop d7. I don't think I analyzed this far ever. But it doesn't look like white is better. Not really, maybe a little bit. There's Vacher Anand. Maybe he has some tiny advantage. The position has really simplified. But anyway, okay, this is the same variation that you're presenting here in the correspondence game. Knight, bishop d7, and then a4. So the majority of players have played knight takes e4 here, or knight f3, it looks like. Knight f3 is a developing move and makes all the sense in the world. And knight takes e4 also, if you look at the Anand game, white's structure is a little bit better than black, and that's why he stands a tiny bit better. This pawn is kind of suspicious. Anand drew, but it looks like, you know, maybe white's a tiny bit better. Okay. But move 11 is suggesting another idea here, a4. Okay, this is some relatively obscure correspondence game, but the correspondence games, these guys for the most part, in many cases, are using extremely strong computer programs to help them find their moves. Chess-Base charges like an arm and a leg for buying like the correspondence chess database, which a lot of top players, I can tell you for sure, a lot of top players are always, you know, heavily relying on correspondence opening games for their preparation. So I strongly recommend that. Anyways, so this looks like interesting move a4, but I don't know that it's necessarily best. Knight takes e4, a5, queen d6, and then bishop e3. computer generated. Check out White's play. Okay, 1 inaccuracy. What is his inaccuracy? Where is his inaccuracy? At the end or something? On move 24, he makes an inaccuracy. I think Stockfish is just crazy. So White sacks a pawn, and the Black King looks actually less safe than the White King, because the white pieces are a bit better coordinated, I think. But White almost certainly is like basically a computer. Knight c6, bishop c3. Even so, it looks like Black's position is playable. You know, he could probably draw with really good play. Looks like he drifted. And Stockfish isn't likely as strong. You know, our Stockfish on a quick scan is not as strong as this game probably, but to answer your question, move 11, I think that this line is really interesting. Definitely playable. But I think that Black should be okay. You know, I don't think that Black's in grave danger. And I still think that bishop g4 is probably Black's best move. A lot of aggressive players are really looking for knight f6 for more of a challenging fighting game. Whereas bishop g4, the problem is maybe after h3 you have to take on f3, and this position is a little bit like not so much fun for Black, but extremely solid, you know. So if you're playing the Caro-Kann for a win, maybe you're playing the wrong opening, I don't know, but for a draw it's good. Let's okay, we didn't get Marius back. I thought he was going to come back. I guess he took off. So let's play. We got no more subscriber challenges. We've got no more games. I've got like 25 minutes left. I hope that answered some of your questions, move 11. But I'm not an authority at all on that variation. I mean, I have looked a little bit. We're going to play a game here. I don't think Suvik is a subscriber, but maybe he will be in the future. Well, no, I mean, Soltigo, I think a lot of the correspondence games are really like computer battles. I don't mean to diss correspondence chess. I guess there's a few people who play without computer assistance. But for the most part, you know, it's just like everyone is a computer in correspondence chess. Okay, Grand Prix attack or closed Sicilian. I didn't go through the whole game. I was more, you know, concerned about the discussion about the opening, basically. So, if I'm still alive, guys, tomorrow morning we're going to be streaming with Blitz and Classical Chess in the morning. Otherwise, hey, I had an interesting idea here. Okay, d6, yeah. So otherwise, Sunday is a simul, 40-40 simul on Sunday night. Suvik, I was hoping you would play like bishop e3. That's most common. f4 is a pretty solid line for White. I haven't looked at the closed Sicilian or come up with any new ideas for a million years. It's just not that common. It's just not that trendy of a line that I've, you know, would dedicate a lot of time to it at this current moment. Years ago, I had a couple games in this position. Blitz and Rapid, yeah. Yeah, but move 11, you know, those lines, Rook b1 is a quiet, kind of safe line, you know. This e5 was all the rage for a while. Black has a lot of answers against e5. I think I played bishop d7. That was the thing. There's even like New in Chess yearbook surveys about it. I haven't played Suvik in a while, and I'm thinking that it's very possible. It's possible that long time ago we had this exact variation. I don't remember. I'm not sure about rook b8. The closed Sicilian, these kind of like older lines, just isn't very popular. So it's kind of a good choice, I think, because a lot of people just don't really care, you know, about learning the theory. I'm never sure like which way to take in this kind of line. I feel like this doesn't help him develop his back rank somehow. It's equal. It's like a closed English with colors reversed. Black has to be careful not to ask for too much here. Objectively equal. Spassky was a big connoisseur of the closed Sicilian with white. It hasn't been played by very many super top players in like the last 20 years. Nigel Short, probably one of the only guys who played the closed Sicilian sometimes. Adams, I don't know. Well, Adams did other stuff, but Short would occasionally play the closed Sicilian. I mean, I'm probably missing somebody, but just popping in my head, like who, you know, what top player in the last 20 years has really played the closed Sicilian with white? Yeah, Short is the only one I could really come up with. Is closed Sicilian for attacking on the queen side? Yeah. For black? Yeah. It's pretty much like you're playing the English opening with white. Like it was c4, e5. You know, our strong point is on c5, which is more on the queen side. White's strong point is on e4. That's more on the king side. So, for the most part, yeah, we're stronger on the queen side. He's stronger on the king side. But Subic, you know, he's playing a pretty reserved variation here. A safe line, you might say, for white. So he's threatening d4. Years ago, the Vietnamese grandmaster Nguyen Ngoc Trong Son was here playing me and other people for like many GM tournaments in Hungary. And I remember him in particular having a couple games with black in this kind of position. He didn't do anything special. You know, he would just kind of hang out and win games magically. This was pretty much what he would do with black. This is a guy who's now around 2,700. At least he was close to 2,700 at one point. I often lament like playing the black side of the, like I hate playing the black side of the closed Sicilian. It's pretty boring. I actually played it with white for a little while, a very brief period. I played the legendary Josh Whiteskin, this type of line with white when I first became a master. I drew him like with knight against rook or something in a pure knight against rook ending. It's kind of funny. Okay, now I think we can take, but we can also think about other things like d5. I guess d5 is not on because of b takes c, or d takes c. We can't play d5. You might be able to play some kind of funky waiting move like queen d7 or something like that. Like I said, Trong Son would just kind of do nothing and wait for white to make a mistake, but that's easier said than done. My impulse is to take on d4. I don't think it's a bad move, but I'm not sure it's the best move. We both have rooks that are misplaced here. Well, you should go to the c file. I'm a little bit reticent about queen a4 happening. So maybe I should follow up with queen e7, which I was talking about. And now for my next project, I was really thinking about e5 here. Can I play e5? But it doesn't look good. I have some crazy ideas. Okay, e5, and then f5. I mean, that's not too crazy. He can't take and fix my pawn structure. Improve my pawn structure, I should call it. White has a strong... Everybody has a strong center. There's nothing happening here. This was my plan, though. My plan was to take on f4, and probably, if he plays bishop takes f4, play bishop e5, and feel confident I'm okay. And we can find more aggressive ideas. I was looking for bishop e3, d5. Okay, I calculated bishop e3, d5, e takes d5, knight takes d5, bishop takes d5, bishop takes e2, bishop takes f7 check. Well, I'm not sure that that like works without me dropping a pawn along the line somewhere. You know, I'm afraid that d5 might not work. My last analysis, my last subconscious analysis was that bishop e3, d5 just doesn't work. Maybe I can take on f4, pawn takes f4, and then there's also f5, but f5 weakens my king position a little bit. I'm not sure it's a big deal. I mean, a really fearless player might play f5, but I'm also concerned about check, king h8, rook d1, and then the d file could become an issue. Maybe rook fd1. f5 is very, very sharp and aggressive. d5, I mean, does it even do anything, you know, the d5? Well, it kind of like pawn takes pawn. I could sack a pawn. Alright, let's try it. I want to play for more complicated type of stuff, you know, in the future. So I'm just playing this on almost like intuition. I mean, this might turn out to be like an absolute pawn sacrifice to try to confuse my opponent in a complicated position. My original intention was, though, to take with the pawn on f4. Maybe I messed up. Maybe I'm supposed to play pawn takes f4 first and then d5. But then he could play e5. I probably wouldn't play this move if it was, you know, money on the line or something. I would just take on f4 and or maybe not. Maybe f5. I'm still not sure. You know, he has a lot of moves too. He doesn't have to play queen b6 check. He can play queen b3. He can play, you know, simply queen d2 or something like that. For some reason he didn't c takes d4. Well, yeah, because it's a totally different game. After c takes d4, he has a liability. Like, this pawn on d4 will be under constant pressure, and I'm the first one grabbing the open file. I'm kind of like agreeing with him. Like, I don't know. C takes d4 is okay, but I think I like his capture better. Bishop takes is probably less risky than c takes. He has more pawn weaknesses there. Okay, now knight takes. I guess I can play bishop takes e2. I didn't really look at that. But I was looking at knight f5. This was my basic idea. Just playing for active pieces like a caveman. Looking for some perverse tactics. Like trying to be more like the 2700 type of player who just bravely sacrifices stuff intuitively. Just go with your intuition. Maybe we have e4. Forcing moves. I'm not really convinced, but I can take on f4. Actually, this looks pretty good. I think we have compensation for pawn. We have compensation for pawn. We have a kind of initiative. His extra pawn's not going anywhere. Okay, that looks like a solid move by white. e4. He just gobbles another. And then knight d6. How many pawns can I afford to lose here? The problem is I can't afford to keep losing pawns. You know, I lost one pawn already. Rook e8 looks like a good move. Dynamic. Alright, let's activate another guy. He can't just ignore me. And now what? We have active pieces, but is it enough? Oh no. I missed the tactic here. I just missed the tactic. Now I have to fight for a draw or something. It's ridiculous here. This guy is really strong. I'm down a pawn, and I don't think I have enough compensation. Rook takes e5 was a mistake, it looks like. I should have taken on e3, just settled for that. I'm not sure if I have enough, really. Objectively, I'm losing here. I'm down a pawn without adequate compensation. He has another trick. Or not. There he might have had rook e1. No, that doesn't work. But still, it's playable. Now he has rook takes f7. That was kind of scary. Very concerned about that. I mean, this move is scary enough. He's nearly winning as it is. He's up a clear pawn. 1882. Alright, we can grab this guy. It looks like he's kind of panicking now. But d6 is a strong move. I'm concerned about the open file. I was a little worried he could go to the open file there right away. I need a way in. Maybe a rook ending would be optimal. Wow, what a move. Queen f3. Okay. Forget the past challenges you. We're just going to blockade. And I think we stand a tiny bit equal. I want to say better, but that's probably an exaggeration. White has a protected passed pawn. So it's kind of scary. But I mean, that was hugely gambling in this game. Now maybe we can out technique our opponent from an endgame position. But other than that, I was in deep doo-doo throughout here. And even now I'm not winning. Probably a draw. Still not that easy. We got the blockade in place. Uh-oh. He's really fighting like a dog. I think it's still probably holding for white. Panic. Panic at the ranch. I'm up 2 pawns. And I still don't know if I'm winning. Probably. He's still got more tricks up his sleeve. Only with the endgame technique. My rook is in a very good position. It defends g6. We support the pawn. I don't think he can save this now. Why would I go there? Yeah, it's probably not a bad move. Maybe just here. Whatever. Alright. What a fighter. 1800. He has never beaten me. He seems tough, though. I thought I probably lost against Suvik before. This is not a rook pawn. That's very important. With a rook pawn, it would be more complicated. Alright, we got him. Only 65 moves. So, I'm drifting down here. Not really a correct game by me, but I took gambles. This looks like theory up until rook b1. Looks like rook b8 is main move. Now I played the main line. I played the main move. I played the main move. He played the main move. And here, it looks like bishop b7 is recommended. I'm not an authority on this either, but I wanted to be a little more aggressive, so I played bishop a6. Denis de Vroekt, Tashkovich, and Hungarian. b4, wow. Okay, d4. There's a Hungarian game, of course. And Suvik follows the game. I agree. You know, c takes is possible. Bishop takes is safer. I agree. C takes d4, queen d7. I'd rather be black here. White feels a little overextended. But, okay. Yeah. Bishop takes. This is following Katona Ferenc against Tashkovich. Tashkovich took on d4. I mean, that's not really a great move for black. I played the best move, e5. And white, bishop e3. So it looks like f5. I have to be aggro here with f5. Queen b3 check, king h8. And the backwardness of the d file maybe not that significant. White has a big disadvantage according to the engine. So I did this. This is gambling, but it's okay. And I didn't see bishop h6 immediately. I found that move later. But apparently that's very strong. And e4 is very strong. I looked at this, but I didn't really see far enough. I saw this, and now this. And it looks like he's actually he's actually stuck. White will have to lose the exchange in this position. So I should have gone a little further. It was a good try. But rook e8, and now I blundered. I missed bishop f4, and it's a catastrophic mistake. So I have to just take on e3 and play this pawn down with compensation. We have compensation for the pawn down. Actually, I can win it back immediately. The bishop takes e2. I'm not sure if I should, but you can if you want to just get the pawn back. It's probably a draw though. So I was like, no, I want more. I'll do rook takes e5. Then I was like, oh my god, he has bishop f4. So I had to find this awful bishop h6, and now I'm lost. Basically lost. Bishop takes h6, knight takes h6, queen takes h6, bishop takes e2, and yeah, he's probably right to just take. And wow, it's plus 3.6 for white here because he has rook takes f7. I did mention that move in passing. That's ugly. I'm probably getting mated and losing my rook or something. Oh god. Yeah, I saw it though. I did see it. He played too fast. This is insane. I have queen takes d5 here, dropping my rook with check. I missed that one, I have to say. One would assume he has like rook f2, but I can just take it, and then this is messed up. I have a check on f5, picking up his rook with a drawn queen ending. That's really funny. So we both missed some tactics as usual, and I thought I was worse, but apparently I'm okay. And I was just kind of lucky. I didn't see anything special here. Queen check, king h1. Why is this so bad for white? I just take on c4. I'm winning a pawn. Okay. Okay, a lot of mistakes at the end, but Suvik missed a big chance to play rook takes f7. Hey William, how about the ambulance sounds on the street? Yeah, it's very strange, very quiet tonight. I guess those guys are still suffering from hangovers. But it's not just ambulances. There's like police cars, transit agency cars that use like loud sirens, official vehicles for the government. You know, basically everything has like a really loud siren in Hungary. I think it's like against the law in the United States for like noise pollution laws or something, but in in Eastern Europe that doesn't exist, so they can do what they want. But it's been pretty quiet on that front. Govin Kurt. Anyway, guys, instead of e4, instead of rook e8, bishop takes e4, we'll lose a piece for white. I have even better, huh? Okay, move 11. But I was on the right track. I just got fouled up with allowing bishop f4. Alright guys, it was fun. I will see you tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Thanks Soltigo for moderating, and I will see you guys then. Sunday, Simo, 6:30 p.m. I want to encourage you guys to subscribe. You can play first in the stream, and you can just help me keep the stream going. I really appreciate those of you who have subscribed. We're dropping a little in the subscriptions, so please, I know that there haven't been as many streams over the holidays, but now we're going to be back to full speed, so 6 streams a week. It should be good. And what else? YouTube channel, video chess training on YouTube, and we'll hopefully got some good stuff for you. We'll get some stuff for you going for the new year. So that's it. Soltigo, thank you again, and I'm out of here. I will see you guys tomorrow morning if the cold doesn't kill me. Bye bye.